Hi, hello and welcome. Thank you for clicking on my thumbnail. Today's video will be a quick review on indie Metroidvania pixel art game Gestalt Steam and Cinder. Full disclosure here, I am biased towards the game and I did want to really like it because I was offered a review copy by Fire Shrine Games. As a YouTube content creator, it was the first time someone had reached out to me offering me a review copy for a game, so naturally I was very flattered. So that's my bias, but let's get on with the review. The short version, it's good. I really enjoyed the game, especially the second half. It's about 10 hours long, and if you liked Hollow Knight, Blasphemous, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, or old school Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you'll probably end up liking Gestalt Steam and Cinder. The big point of differentiation is its steampunk's aesthetic and its storyline that seems to take influences from Doom and Warhammer 40k, which I actually really liked. There will be minor spoilers for the game up until the mid to late game, though I will probably make some other videos later on with more spoilers, but not today. Another note, this review is based on the version of the game at launch. I'm pretty sure they're going to be patching and changing and rebalancing things as time goes on. In terms of difficulty, I would say the game is roughly about as difficult as Blasphemous. It's not as hard as Hollow Knight, but it still does pose a challenge. There were multiple bosses I had to try over again until I realized that I was supposed to fight them using a specific tactic or attack that I wasn't using. When the story starts, we get an introduction that tells us that it's been over 200 years since humanity was nearly pushed to the brink of extinction by demons that poured forth from the Abyss Gate. In response, humanity built its own monsters to fight back, in the form of the Abyss-powered armors, piloted by the Akahians. I'm probably mispronouncing that. After a bitter war, they were able to fight back the demons and seal off the gate to the Abyss. Afterwards, the remnants of humanity congregated and set up a city called Steam City, the last bastion of humanity. But the peace wouldn't last for too long. The people that piloted the armors that they used to fight back the demons fell under the corrupting effect of the power of the Abyss. And soon, war broke out between the humans and the Akahians, resulting in the Akahians being banished from Steam City. Our protagonist is called Alethea, also known as Red, and she's one of the best swords in all of Steam City. At the start of the game, she's working as a bounty hunter or mercenary, doing bid jobs for some spare cash. Little did she know what the war held in store for her, as she would learn the true nature of the Abyss, the Akahians, the Chrome Knight, and also her own origins and birth. Okay, moving on to the graphics and the art. The game does have a distinct style, mostly taken from westerns and steampunk. In terms of the portraits and character art, the game is expressive and the characters are charismatic, especially the members of the Vanguard, who seem to be some of the most interesting and captivating characters. While the art direction isn't quite as distinct or mesmerizing as Hollow Knight, Gestalt Steam and Cinder does have its own vision and does leave its own distinct impression. One aspect in which I think the game really does shine is its music. During boss fights, I felt energized by the epic choruses and crescendos. During exploration, I found that the music was atmospheric and fitting to the environment, going from almost country western style guitar strums in the early areas of the game to more industrial style music in some other areas, such as the underground scrap sea. Over time, I did catch myself really growing to enjoy and taking comfort in the ambiental music, kind of like how you do in Firelink Shrine or Majula in Dark Souls. Each area will have its own musical motif that you'll be able to recognize, with some areas being more aggressive and industrial, some being more melodic and soothing, helping flesh out the character of each area. From a technical point of view, the game is stable, solid, and ran well for me. It runs on the Unity engine, and the game was designed by a very small team. Congratulations to the team on this game, by the way. Over the course of about 10 hours of gameplay, I only encountered one bug that sometimes crashed my game. Since the game saves every time you enter a room, I just restarted the game, and ultimately it didn't really cause me any trouble. So I'm happy to say the game runs very bug-free. Okay, but let's get to the important part, the gameplay. The game starts off like any Metroidvania, and as you play, of course, you unlock more traversal skills and different forms of attack. If you like the combat in Hollow Knight or Blasphemous, you will enjoy Gestalt Steam and Cinder, especially the second half. Once you've unlocked some more of the fighting abilities and gun attacks, along with the traversal skills, the combat gets more complex and smooth. I have to be honest, I did have a lot of fun with the bosses, especially towards the end of the game. When I beat the game, it made me wish the game had boss rush mode or an arena mode, kind of like how in Hollow Knight you can fight all the bosses again with the latest DLC. The combat and the movement is buttery smooth and can be captivating. There was one boss fight I really enjoyed that did remind me of the Mantis Lord fight in Hollow Knight, which I see as an example of one of the most fluid fights when it comes to bosses in games like these. Also, corgis. There's a lot of corgis in this game. As you travel the map, you'll be paying attention to the barking sound as you try to find all the corgis on the map. In terms of the world you'll be exploring, it's a Metroidvania game, so you explore the map, find areas that are inaccessible to you, get a power-up or a new traversal ability, and then continue exploring the map. The areas are distinct, and there are some surprises here and there to keep you on your toes. In terms of my criticisms, overall, solid game I do recommend. If I had to nitpick, though there is a lot of dialogue, we don't really get a lot of backstory to a lot of the more interesting characters we see. Really only the protagonist is fleshed out. So you'll be meeting interesting characters that have a lot of personality, but then not really learn much about their backstory or why they are the way that they are. The small team that developed the game still hasn't added some features that a lot of gamers are used to by now, like a new game plus, some reason to replay the game, or boss rush mode, although all this could be added with later patches. And I do get the feeling that if the game is successful, we'll be seeing more stories told in this world. But that's all for my quick review on Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. What do you think? Would you like to see more content exploring the Steam City and the Abyss? Let me know in the comments. And thank you again to the developer and the publisher for the review copy. I was flattered and I did enjoy the game. So you can say that Gestalt will probably be considered as another solid entry into the library of good indie Metroidvania games. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you later.